So we're just going to do a short piece on this for the moment, and we'll be coming back to analyse it in more detail. But there's been a very dramatic moment in the appeal Conor McGregor is taking against the civil court proceedings taken by Nikita Hand, who accused him of raping her. This has been sort of going through the appeals court on a number of arguments on his side, and one of which involved this introduction of new evidence.
Yeah, I mean, I think it was described as bombshell new evidence at the time, and absolutely it would have been. There was two witnesses, neighbours of Nikita Hand, a couple, Samantha O'Reilly and her partner, Stephen Cummins, who said they saw Nikita Hand being assaulted by her boyfriend. So this is
sort of that night.
That night, in the aftermath.
And before she had attended to the Rape Crisis Centre and et
yes,
cetera.
So it was put forward as an explanation for some of the injuries she had suffered. Now, it was bombshell new evidence. So this is, a big, huge stakes. I mean, absolutely huge stakes. And obviously an affidavit was signed by the alleged witnesses, put forward to the court. That was made part of the proceedings, and everybody heard about it. It was denounced as lies by Nikita Hand, but the McGregor team had still put it forward. But amazingly, it was dropped without ceremony today. Just this morning. I mean, really quite incredible. Now, obviously, the reason given was that McGregor's team told the three-court judge, because it's an appeals, so this is kind of a preliminary stage of the appeal. The actual appeal hasn't gone ahead, but there's discussions about what will be put forward in the appeal. So basically, it's a pre-appeal hearing, I suppose, was how you could describe it. And McGregor's team said they'd reflected on the matter after receiving submissions from Miss Hand's legal team, and they'd taken the view that they could not proceed with the ground of appeal. And the legal team then made the argument that they had a difficulty would have arisen from a report received from Further Northern Ireland State Pathologist Jack Crane, which reportedly supported that account. So he said that was one of the reasons why it was being withdrawn.
Just go back on that, sorry. So
So basically,
supported which account?
So basically, the McGregor's legal team had spoken to the former Northern Ireland State Pathologist, and we spoke about this before, but he had given a report on the basis of reading this witness statement that has now been summarily dropped. And after reading that report, he had looked at CCTV of Nikita Hand being brought to the hospital, looked at her CCTV of her in the Beacon Hotel, and he had compiled a report basically saying some of the injuries she suffered may not have been, were not visible in some of the CCTV.
So such his evidence, the court was told, or what he had included in his report, purportedly supported Samantha O'Reilly's account.
Yes. So certainly McGregor's legal team have said they have difficulty now linking them. But, it was greeted, I suppose, with incredulity from Nikita Hand's representatives. Her counsel, John Gordon, said he was in shock at this late withdrawal of fresh evidence appeal. He said that she had been put through the ringer, Miss Hand had been put through the ringer after the allegation, which she had denounced as lies and were outlined in court and reported in all the newspapers. So obviously, there's no doubt that witness statement would have been, if it would have been really true absolute shade on Nikita Hand's version.
So we're only really been told so far in the court that they're sort of withdrawing it, but none of the reasons why.
Well, they've given a reason why, that they have difficulty linking with this report. But however, Nikita Hand...
They've difficulty linking with the report, meaning that they have difficulty between the evidence that was due to be given by Samantha O'Reilly and what it says in this report, or that there has been some sort of withdrawal of...
No, I think they're saying, what they have saying clearly is that they're having difficulty linking it to the report, and therefore, after receiving submissions from Miss Hand's legal team, they're withdrawing it. So that's...
But both the report and the evidence that was due to be given by Samantha O'Reilly came from the McGregor side.
100%.
So they're now having difficulties linking the two of them.
Exactly. However, in the point, I suppose, or to paraphrase Nikita Hand's team, this stuff has already been put out there.
Yeah.
And that obviously has a huge impact. It's reported in all the newspapers, as we would always do, report what's in court proceedings. It absolutely gave a very, very contradictory account of Nikita Hand and for as well her former partner, who totally denies the allegation that he struck her. So they're saying this is extraordinary, and they make a very clear comment that this evidence, the witness evidence, should be, they believe that it should be allowed, they should be allowed, bring the matter to the attention of the DPP for potential perjury, as well as subornation of perjury by McGregor. Now, subornation is a legal term, but it's basically inducing
or supported by, yeah.
Yeah. So exactly. It's a legal term to say, basically, obviously McGregor didn't make this statement, but their claim is that the DPP should look at it for this offence.
So Nikita Hand's legal team are focusing on the evidence that was due to be given as opposed to the report.
They are focusing on the evidence. I mean, the witness statement is the basis from which the report is drawn up. That's what we were told in the previous hearing. He looked at the former state pathologist, looked at the CCTV evidence in light of receiving this new witness statement, and was asked to draw up a report in that context. So what's obviously, even in that report that's drawn up, what is key is this witness statement. Now,
Samantha O'Reilly was due to give evidence today.
She was due to give evidence, or certainly, her account was to be challenged because it hadn't been accepted. Remember, this is a very unusual legal proceeding anyway, because, as we said before, but just to go over it again, if it normally appeals don't allow new evidence to be heard. What they are on is on points of law. So further on, later today, we'll hear some of Conor McGregor's other points of law, not to get into them now, but they'd be basically, judges' summations. So you don't generally get to introduce new evidence. It's very rare, but it is technically allowed if you can be shown that this evidence wasn't available, and, also that the other clear factor of it is that it has to be credible. So, you have to prove its credibility. And obviously at this point, it's being withdrawn. And even the judge, the presiding judge of the three-judge court, Miss Justice Isabel Kennedy, said they would allow the withdrawal of the grounds, but she said it was unsatisfactory that the application to withdraw was made so late in the day, both for the court but also for Miss Hand. Now, John Gordon and Nikita Hand's counsel came back again and said he was asking McGregor's side to apologise to Miss Hand. And that didn't seem to be dismissed out of hand. It's his McGregor senior counsel said that responded that this was something we can deal with through McGregor's solicitor, Michael Staines, if appropriate. And he said that in the absence of Professor Crane's evidence, there was no corroboration of Miss O'Reilly's evidence. So something has happened. It's not very clear.
And it's interesting to see that neither Miss O'Reilly nor her partner, Mr. Cummins, are in court today. This is all the lawyers. Their affidavits we had previously heard inferred that Miss Hand was assaulted by her then partner, Stephen Redmond, and that Mr. Cummins, who was a plumber, claims he heard screams coming from the house that particular evening. And the couple had only said they came forward after they saw television reports about the trial. They hadn't sort of put two and two together before that. And obviously, as we've mentioned, their claims were dismissed as lies by Nikita Hand.
Yeah, I mean, if you look back on the evidence, the witness statement that was detailed in court, I mean, some of it was that they were basically neighbours. I can't remember exactly what hour the morning was, but it was it was an early morning, and they looked out the window and they could see across the road. They could see. They were claiming they could see this altercation.
In here, yeah.
I mean, look, you can People will understand they're looking out the window and they didn't, are you going to see what you're going to see? And also that they didn't actually see the assault even, but what they saw was something that looked like an assault. So obviously McGregor's side have withdrawn it on the basis that, it's not going to stand up effectively. I mean, that's what they're saying. And, you have to...
Well, they're sort of saying they can't tally it with the report.
Yeah, so...
But I imagine this will continue to untangle as time goes on. And we're going to leave it there for the moment because we're going to come back possibly tomorrow with a more in-depth podcast on what has gone on throughout the day during this appeal and what more evidence has been heard on his other grounds.
Exactly. I mean, look, the basic line that McGregor's team say is that we could not find a legal gateway for admissibility in this case. So that is what they say. But obviously, it's gone now. It's something that stands up and it's removed from the proceedings.
And her team are calling for consequences in regards to putting it forward in the first place. Okay, Niall, thanks.
Thanks, Nicola.
I'm Nicola Tallant and you're watching Crime World, a podcast about criminals, drugs and the underworld in Ireland and across the globe. Make sure you subscribe to our channel and turn on notifications so you can be the first to watch all our latest episodes. You can also listen wherever you get your podcasts.